Chapter 8, Teat. Elfie, called Dad from the living room. What about that biscuit for our new friend Winnie? Hastily, that means quickly, Elfie tiptoed back across the hall to the kitchen and busied himself there. He had heard something he was never meant to hear, and now he had to hide it. "I'll go and check on him, Mr. Griffith," announced the lady. "By the way, Winnie, it's Griffin," said Dad. "That's what I said," corrected Winnie. "Griffith!" She thundered, that means walked loudly down the hallway. Elfie didn't want this stranger to see him cry. He hated anyone seeing him upset. Growing up without a mum, Elfie's life had been touched with more sadness than most children's. As a result, he had learned to hide his feelings, to bury them somewhere deep within where no one could see. His heart was a fortress, so his heart is like a tower where he hid all his feelings. Elfie hastily, that means quickly, dabbed his eyes with the sleeve of his blazer before trying to wipe away the tears that had run down to the end of his nose. "Now, young Alfred, have you found any more biscuits?" inquired Winnie. The boy had his back to her and didn't turn around. He hoped that in a few more moments all trace of his tears would be gone and his red and blotchy face would have returned to normal, because Elfie don't want Winnie to see him crying. Winnie could sense something was wrong. "Alfred? Alfred? Are you all right, young man?" The boy hastily grabbed the scratched up old biscuit tin from the ladder. Still not turning to face her, he passed it over roughly. "There you go, eat the last one, why don't you?" Winnie slowly shook her head. Then her eyes were drawn to the mountain of letters on top of the ladder behind Elfie. "And what are all these?" she asked. "All what?" replied the boy. Elfie turned around and in a panic realized she meant all the dental appointment letters he has been hiding from his father for the past few years. Do you remember in the previous few chapters? They talked about how Elfie hid all the letters on top of the ladder. Ladder's a cabinet that stores food so that his dad wouldn't see all the dental appointment letters. "That's just rubbish." Sorry, this is Elfie. "That's just rubbish," he lied. Well, if it's just rubbish, let me help you put it in the bin." Winnie was a wise old bird. She reached up her hand to grab the letters. Before Elfie could say anything, her eyes started flickering through the pages. Soon his secret was out. "Well, who would have thought it? They're all letters from the dentist." "Oh dear, Alfred, you haven't been for years," proclaimed the social worker. "Now I know a lot of children under my care are scared of the dentist, but trust me." Elfie snatched the letters out of her hand. "Stop poking your nose where it doesn't belong," he barked. That means he shouted back. "I love my dad and I look after him better than anyone else could. Better than you. Better than anyone. So why don't you just walk out that door and never come back? Just leave us alone." Winnie looked at Elfie, waiting for his white-hot anger to cool down. Slowly, her head tilted to one side. In her job as a social worker, she had met many troubled children over the years, but none quite as spirited, none quite as full of energy as this boy. She took a breath before saying, "Please, Alfred, believe me. I am here to help you and your dad. I know it's not going to be easy for you to accept that. I know you probably hate me right now." The boy's silence was telling. That means Elfie kept quiet, and it's obvious why he kept quiet. "But who knows, Alfred? In time you may come to like me. One day we might even be friends." Elfie scoffed. That means he laughed at the thought. "Now, young man, why don't we sit down and have a little talk?" The boy couldn't control his rage at this woman any longer, so he couldn't control his anger at this woman any longer. "There is nothing to talk to you about," he shouted before pushing past her out of the cramped kitchen. As he dashed along the hallway to his bedroom, Winnie called after him. "Please, Alfred," she implored. but the boy simply ignored her, slammed his bedroom door shut behind him and locked it. Alfie slumped down on his bed. He shut his eyes tight in frustration. Just then he heard a gentle tapping on the door. Tap, tap, tap! Even the way she knocked on the door was annoying to him. "Alfred," she whispered, "it's Winnie." Alfred said nothing. "Just to say, I am off now," said Winnie, pretending nothing was wrong. "But I will call the dentist first thing tomorrow morning about your teeth. I've heard a very nice lady has just taken over by the name of Miss Root. Bye-bye." Alfred gulped. That means he's scared. "Not Miss Root. Anyone but Miss Root." The end.